Okay, so in this game, I'm going to rotate it. So we're kind of playing like Tarkin. Tarkin, the hero, is in blue. I'm going to skip the pre-game chatter. So Tarkin opens with normal rover on a slightly hilly map, but it's okay. The hills aren't severe. It's not the end. Ooh, it's not the end of the world. It's not too bad. Okay. And at this point in time, I'm going to try and just do it based on just what Tarkin could possibly know. Scout unit, then the constructor, not too bad. Scout unit, going straight towards the enemy, not too bad. Commander, to be extremely picky, you could have placed the commander here, and then he wouldn't have had to walk to do all this constructing. That's mega picky. That's like uber refinement levels. And gives it 2 scorchers, which is fine. Starts building a mechs, which is good. And then it does make this LLT here. I kind of... Let me have a little look, actually. Let's have a little look and see. Okay, it's not too bad, because it kind of covers that whole gap if your enemy's not using spiders or jumps. I kind of prefer one like here, a little bit closer to home. If that mech dies, you just rebuild it, kind of thing. Next unit is making a Ripper, which is good. He's already established that. Hang on. Yeah, so he's had a scout. He knows what the enemy's got. I'm pretty sure. Can I go backwards in time? No, of course not. Can I? No. No. There you go. Well, he definitely knows by now that it's Pyros, and he knows that he's having a bad time. It's got a Ripper, which I like. We're going to find out in a few seconds how effective that is. But you've just seen Pyros. I wouldn't make Fencers. Just because Fencers... They're like made of paper. They're really good against things that can't jump and close the gap quickly on them. And this fusion just connects a crappy line of solar like that and like that. This is 1,000 metal, which you're not going to have in an army form. It's also energy that doesn't come online for a while. Don't need to worry what Jasper's doing because we're only focused on Tarkin. Yeah, so Jasper's just pointed out that the sides have stronger mexes. So this is the point where Tarkin, if he didn't already know, definitely knows, and pretty much immediately queues up the constructor, which I like. So it has his opponent Null. Let's just go with Null. Got about 15 million different names. So Fences are going against fleas, but your direct opposite isn't massing the fleas, but Ripper's also absolutely amazing against fleas, so just don't make Fencers in this situation. You do finish the fusion pretty early on, so can't overly fault that. You've got your mexes on high priority, which is awesome, and you're suggesting to box them in. Not a bad strategy. At the moment, you have not much to box them in with, though. You have one Scorcher, which you've kind of established in this matchup is just dead. It's just kind of useless. And you've got 2 Rippers as well. So the Fencers provide some vision. You don't see these guys until right now. But you just... okay, so your Ripper kind of gets slowed and suicides a bit, so you lose a lot of HP there, and he doesn't retarget. So that's what I'm saying when it's only 1 Ripper against 3. That's 200 metal, 240 metal against these lot, and you still nearly come off on top. But these guys, if I can select them all, that's 660 metal, so nearly 3 times the value. So that's you know what I'm saying is that the Pyros aren't too strong. Your units aren't weak against Pyros. You just didn't use them very well. One other thing, which pretty much everyone in this game completely failed to do, is like just put a solar next to it or something. Just put a solar and attack move, as Dive noted while we were spectating. Got to if you're moving fences, just move them with the A command. This one. That way they'll stop as soon as they're in sight of an enemy and just start shooting. That was a pretty dumb shot, but yeah, look, they're just not the right unit for you. Now at this point, I know it's probably going to get a tab on here in a moment. You are excessing metal because you've got 47, so that means your income's about half of that 2v2. So your income's 22, 23. You're only spending 10 metal a second in this factory. Your commander's right here. He's worth 12 now. Used to be 10, but worth 12. So just guard your factory. Just assist your factory. You're not building anything else. You double the speed of production. And yeah, just mass up rippers like you're doing now. If you want to add in a couple of things, you know it's against jump bots. You've seen the moderator now. Get some darts out, because if you throw the darts in first, any moderators will just blow their loads early on. They'll have absolutely no follow-up, and then you can close in with these. There you go. Look, I've noticed it while I was watching the replay. And that's where we're explaining to you also about your little ripper problem. So you haven't gone up here to claim this. That's where the darts will also come in handy. So I probably say make 10 darts, just throw them out there, see where your enemy's at in terms of expansion. As soon as you see there's nothing here, immediately get a constructor out, reclaim the metal on the way, build it, get some rippers up there, and just leave the rippers there. You just want to hold that. Stick a couple of solar around it, it will start overdriving like crazy. It'll be like an extra 10 metal or something silly. So your commander wasn't assisting the factory, but you build a caretaker to do it for you. Problem with that is you just spent 180 metal when you could have just assisted the factory. You see? Here we go. So this is going to be... Oh, there you go. Superior vision range on pyros saved them there. But kind of looking at the terrain, you could be slightly further up. You're a little bit downhill, but not a problem. Now you're on a level. Now you're going to, yeah, tear this up. Or rip it up, should I say. But yeah, 2v1. So what Dive's pointing out there is the amount of metal. 2,000 metal versus 1,000 metal. So that is the fusion. That's 1,000 metal fusion. That's also all that time that you weren't constructing with your commander, and he's still not constructing. And you've gone back to fences. 2 or 3 rippers here would have absolutely annihilated these pyros. But they didn't quite choose to... There we go. I think really this is sort of the point of the game where most, if you made those few little refinements, that would make the biggest difference. But if I just up the speed a little bit, I'm just looking for something in particular, which is another thing that will help you. You do, that's a good sacrifice of the commander there, to be honest with you. So yeah, moderators, absolutely tear them up. You need to make darts to eat those up. Then the other thing that I'm really waiting for here is... Okay, so it's this air move here that's coming up. I'm going to slow it down just at the right time, I think. Right, here we go. So in a moment, your team will discover that the enemy has built air, because they reveal it for no reason. They could have stacked up a couple of bombs, done a scout, found your fusion, and did the game pretty much. But you now know that they have air. That doesn't make fences useful. They're still pretty poo in this game scenario. But at that point, you really need to put something down in your main base. But you also know that they've invested thousands of metal, probably 2,000 metal in terms of factory, the infrastructure for it. So at that point, you really want to dump as much into a ground force and push, because you, after all their pyros died, you can reasonably assume that they got no forces. I think that's really like the most value out of this game. You retake this good, you re-expand quite good. I don't think you ever get this one, but that's fine. Yeah, Jasper got that one for you, I think. But yeah, like when you get these, just stick solars on them. When it's a big mech, since it's 5 metal, just dump, don't worry about that. Just dump it in. Idle factory, this we see a couple of times and you're accessing. I know it looks like we're south, but we're north because I flipped the map. So you've been playing in this view for a lot of the game, which is fine. But yeah, I think that's sort of like the main things. You're just not, accessing again, no production. So it's a lot of simple things. So what I would say is at the start of every game, hotkey your factory. I always hotkey my factories to 1, so to do that is control 1, and then you just tap 1 and you can build things without having to look at your factory. So that way you can be microing things over here and think, oh crap, they got a load of air. Press 1, you automatically open up this, but you're still looking over here, and then you can go, oh, I want 3 crashes, something like that. Which, ironically, you then queue up, so that was almost like magic. I would also just have a few rules of thumb. So 1 mechs, 1 solar. Every mechs you build 1 solar, because generally that's going to match your income. Most mechs are worth 2 metal. Some are worth more if it's 5. For every 1 energy you want to build 1 energy. 1 metal you want to build half a solar basically. So ideally you want 3 solars on that mech for ideal production, but you want to excess energy, so don't be afraid to build more. That's a general good rule of thumb, because you never build a solar here, you never build a solar here. You have this fusion, but the fusion isn't linked to anything. So it's kind of just a bomb in your own base, which you find out a bit later on about. 10-minute mark as well. 10-minute mark in a small game, in 1v1 especially, 10 minutes is when you want to be preparing for the enemy to fact switch and be ready yourself to switch to another factory if you feel you want to complement your forces. But by this point in the game, it's kind of like the slow end, because they have nothing here and you guys haven't really pushed, but you've just allowed them to get a load of air. But that's essentially the way this game goes now. It's just the air. Null doesn't know how to play air very well, but he just brute forces it. Yeah, a couple little things, and honestly you'll be the same rank as these guys in no time, because it's just it's those smaller refinement things. You got the general basics, you know roughly what units counter what, aside from making fences, are just not ideal in this type of game.